No.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Joe?
Remember the logo on your look on your control over here.
It's on
What about the other side? The other one
Yep.
next to it?
on air.
It's not showing. I mean, it's okay if it doesn't.
I know, but we had it.
I'm not sure. Good evening. How are you? Good, good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's usually the first thing I do when I get here. Because I can't stand the darkness.
I'm so glad you said that.
Good evening.
I feel like Mr. Gerald's not in the thing either. It's like you can't see him. What if he scooched over? Because it was set.
Did he get his tree?
Okay, that's a little bit better. I can see him now.
That's 6:13, that's okay.
Yeah. That's the one right next to your niece. Your sister.
I can see the top of my head. Scooch back.
Well, that's the property that we had asked about. Just that one for 613. Fellowship management. They also own one, you know, the house is next to where, I don't know, something in your back.
You see the lady that just walked in? That's the lady that is in the fair. That's what they came
So
for the
the
truck.
property next to it, that's another fellowship.
It's his
So that house is on the program.
brother's. I think it's his brother's property.
We literally have the crane guys, he was solar, hopefully start. And then last But he's gonna be in the first thing. That's Jeff and. Yes.
So our judge surprised.
Thank you for sending that to me. Yes, he did surprise, and it's done. It's over.
They can take an appeal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's decided.
Oh, I'm so relieved.
Yes, I am too. Even so, the chance of being overturned or appeal is not that great.
Mm-mm.
So this is, you never know what to look for.
Yeah.
What they
One less thing to worry about. One less thing to report at the end of our audit. Yeah.
And it's, about not submitting this. I purposely did not do that in November and December.
Well, I remember that.
Because I did not want to go on.
More income. Mhm.
So anyway, and in December, that's when they started really getting sick.
Yeah.
So I have the information, I've done it.
Yeah.
And I know I haven't sent it, so I'm gonna sit.
You just gotta sit down and do it, huh?
Yeah, sit down and do it.
Yeah.
I have it on here.
Good.
But yeah, it's, the other thing was, how, how the budget users get out.
That's true.
But it's, I'm not fine.
And you're fine.
But, yeah, but I, never mind. But, that was also part of, so I kind of did that, but I didn't intend to let it go as long as I did.
Oh, it's okay. It's
It was
fine.
just, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's doing great.
Good. That's good.
All that worry.
And that's what St. Padre Pio tells us, right? Pray and don't worry. Pray and don't worry.
Yeah.
All right, it is 7 p.m. and it is May the 12th. And at this time, we're going to open for a public hearing. And it's involving ordinance number 2025-01, an ordinance to amend Article 5, Section 2, 122 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Ioway, Louisiana, to authorize the use of the Louisiana Department of Revenue Office of Debt Recovery for the collection of delinquent debt as authorized by Louisiana Revised Statute 47-299.1 ET-SEQ and provide for related matters. Any questions on that? Any comments, Ms. Cindy? Would you like to kind of just give a brief overview?
The only reason that we're amending this ordinance is because we're trying to bring it up to date. We had an older ordinance on the books that stated a different company name that did our collections for debt recovery that we no longer use. And the Louisiana Department of Revenue has a debt recovery office that they're allowing us to access for our late water bills, even citations, any kind of debt that the town would be able to collect on. So we're just amending this ordinance to state a different third party that's going to do our debt collection.
Is it more or less the same
It's
price fee?
they're going to take a percentage of it. Mhm.
Basically like the other.
Yes. Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay. No other questions. I want to thank each of you for coming out this evening. And at this time, we're going to start our regular meeting. We'll call to order, and we're going to do a roll call. How about we do our invocation and our pledge first before we do that? Y'all stand with me.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion and allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of our community. Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You can be seated. All right. At this point, we have, we'd like to adopt the agenda.
A roll call.
I'm sorry. But you got this. Okay. Yep, you're right. Keep trying to avoid that. Roll call. So we're going to Mr. Gerald Guidry.
Here.
Miss Vanessa Guillory.
Here.
Mr. Joe Becknell.
Here.
Miss Julie Fontenot.
Here.
I'll get my tongue untied today. Mr. Daniel Hennigan was not able to make it this evening, so he is absent.
Mayor, before we adopt the agenda, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add an item to be discussed. Regarding the feeding program,
Okay.
do we need to vote on that?
Yes, we need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any
Any
nays?
opposition?
Any nays?
No nays.
Okay.
Next, we have approval of minutes as submitted for regular meeting April 14th, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Um,
Any opposed? All right, and that carries. Okay. New business. First thing we have, let's go ahead and do the feeding program,
okay,
and that way I don't forget it.
okay. I think we have some people here tonight that are representing them. I believe several months ago, we had voted to continue this program. But I think as of Friday, the papers or the contract wasn't signed. And I just need to find out if that's going to be signed as we originally voted for. Has it been signed?
Okay. So if you don't mind, we do this once a year. Okay.
Correct.
We have had, and I do want to recognize, if 3 of you would stand up with Calcasieu Parish Health and Human Services. But we did speak with these folks probably about a month ago. We had a meeting in here and we discussed the program in totality. And while I'm mentioning folks, we have Mr. Bo Desimo here as well with Domain and so, but yes, according to this feeding program, we did have the conversation, the budget that we have listed. We do have 3,000 included in it for feeding site. As the discussion that we had in this room here with those folks, as well as us, we felt that we could do the $3,000. If we had the money to do it, we would do the $3,000. We discussed where to do it. And until we pass the budget, I think we're kind of playing on the wrong side of this. I think what we want to do is get through our budget. As I shared with them on I think through email with Miss Tracy had sent an email. We had let them know that as soon as the budget is passed, we will make that determination as to how it goes. So if at some point during the budget meeting or during the next month, if there's any conversation regarding anything in our budget, that we can make that amendment or rework our budget so that when we present it, it has that information in it.
So if we voted for it, how come it wasn't mentioned at that time? If we voted for it, the money was not there.
We voted for it last year.
Didn't we discuss this a few months ago when it came up as an issue? And not only did we as a council, I thought, voted for it, there was also comments from the audience that stated that we should continue this program. We've been doing it for several years.
Correct. I understand that. And there's been absolutely no discussion from the council regarding this feeding program. We've put together quite a bit of information on it. But the main point here is we have it in the budget. We have $3,000. I think that's part of the discussion with our budget between now. We're introducing the budget. We're not passing the budget today. So last year we gave $6,500 for the feeding program. That's when we had the discussion, was last year for that budget. Okay, we ended up amending our budget if my memory serves. And that was for that particular year. And it's the same thing here. Our budget, once it's passed, we have $3,000 in there. At this point, if we're going to do anything different, we need to have a discussion about that based upon a balanced budget and where we're going to cut if we're going to continue that program.
We voted at 3,000,
Yes, in this particular budget that I have introduced today,
so how much did we pay last year?
$6,500,
So why did we just budget for 3,000?
what we have in revenue compared to what we need to spend. Projects.
So
Going into-
which location are you wanting to cut out?
We discussed that last time and with the folks that were here in that last meeting about a month ago. And our concern was having the young people from the elementary walking to the high school. That was our concern. Even though I think the facility is probably better at the high school, we felt that the high schooler would be better equipped to walk to the elementary. But it doesn't matter to me which way it goes, as long as we do have one of those feeding sites.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're saying the high schoolers walk into this location. You have young kids that live on that part of town. So you want everybody to walk to this in the town and have just one location? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying we have to review the budget. We have to look at our budget in totality and see if that's what you want to do. If you want to extend the dollar amount, we need to know where to cut, is basically what it is. But that takes a conversation. We all have to have that conversation. Okay? That's the only thing I'm saying.
Well, I'm in favor of doing both locations again and feeding at both locations. And if we have to adjust the budget, then we need to adjust the budget. That's my take on it. And if this contract needs to be signed, if they're on deadline, then we should have had this discussion before today. I mean,
I'm not quite sure I see it the way you do, Miss Julie. I'm in here daily, and I know there's been times I've asked to speak with you, and I haven't had the pleasure of sitting down with you and discussing some of these things. If we want to get into that, this particular feeding program is a USDA program. It's a federal program. That program, what makes it to Calcasieu Parish is $477,632. $96,000 of that is what goes into literal food and the people who serve it. So we have a $200,000 direct service that administers all aspects, provide personal supplies and materials to run the program, ensure all required grant paperwork is completed, maintain feeding site locations in like-new condition, hire and pay staff for SFSP operations, including fringe and benefits, provided training for all employees. So when you boil it down, the other municipalities, for last year, we had, I want to say it was around $30,000 that other municipalities kicked in. I know for a fact that this year that we're not the only ones that are struggling. Even these folks, we talk to them, how can we help, knowing this is a federal program that generally that's our tax dollars that's going to that program. Now our smaller municipalities are having a additional tax that is put on us to fulfill that program that should be 100% whole coming from the federal government. These are concerns, but we will do what we can, but I think we need to have a conversation of how we get there. And I think that really comes at looking at that entire budget that has been proposed as a balanced budget. If there, again, I've said it in my message on your paperwork that I provided in your agenda, that if you want to go a different direction, the one thing that you do is tell me where you want to cut services or projects. It's the only way we do it. We have to do a balanced budget. So I'm good either way.
I think when it comes to feeding the children of our town and the area, I don't understand not moving forward with what we have done every year, finding it somewhere.
I don't think this is about whether we want to feed the children or not. I think this is about we have the money to do it. And again, we need to go back. All I'm asking for is for people to really look at the budget very, very closely and say, do we have the funds to do this? I know for a fact that other municipalities have cut the amount of money that's going into this program this year. We're not the only ones that have cut, but we were the ones last year who chose, even when I suggested the $3,000 last year, it was chosen to give $6,500. Okay, so you raised it again last year, even though we had set it at $3,000. So I think it's a matter of, sorry, my chair is falling. I think it's a matter of just having conversations about the budget. Okay.
When does the application need to be signed?
I can speak to that. Do I need to come up here?
Sure, if you don't mind.
I'm Erica Garrison, Assistant Director for the Human Services Department. So in terms of execution for the contract, I would need that pretty soon. Our program starts June 2nd. Payment can happen later, but in order for us to make sure we have staff in place to serve the meals, we have to move pretty quickly to execute the contract. I did discuss with Mayor Watkins an option of providing just lunch and not breakfast. Whatever you all decide, I just need that in writing so we can move forward to amend the contract, as it has to go through our legal review, and then I can send it back to you. So it's just a matter of whatever you choose to do, and then we can move forward with as far as location and the amendment as far as what meal you want to provide. I just need that information within the next few days if possible. That way we can go ahead and get the contract back out to you all.
So we can discuss where we can cut funds in order to continue to feed the same amount of children that we did last year, and it would come out of our July 1st budget.
Is this something that you're wanting to do tonight, is to amend that? To have us sign a contract with them without reviewing the
I'd
budget?
like more time to look at the budget to see where it could be and discuss it with the other council members.
So I would make a recommendation that we do a special meeting for this.
That's good.
And I did bring along the information I shared with you, Mayor, if you want
Yes.
that information to share with everyone else.
Yes.
This just gives a breakdown of all the meals provided through our summer food service program from the Human Services Department. And then the bottom half of that talks about the town of Iowa. So I did bring that with me in case anyone wanted a copy of that.
Yes.
And just to clarify, in terms of the way this grant funding works, with all of our grants received in the Human Services Department, everything is either match, which means we have to come up with a portion in-house to pay to offset some of that cost, or it's a reimbursable grant. With this particular funding stream, it cuts off at the 80%. So the contracts that are in place are a way for us to offset that cost with each municipality. And we've been able to either enter into contracts with mission-based organizations, municipalities, faith-based organizations, to ensure that we still can have this viable program that's needed for the community and still offset some of the rising costs for it because of food and just the different incurring costs that come about from the summer feeding program.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Any other questions? I think Eric, I saw you.
Yeah, I did have my hand up.
Do you mind coming forward, please?
Yeah, no problem. The, as far as the programs that was cut, the Lake Charles did cut the summer feeding program. But however, they are substituting that with Second Harvest, which is a whole nother deal, and they're only supplying to their summer camps, which they are charging for, and no other outside children are being able to be fed by this. So that's not something that I think that we should do. We're not even in that realm. We don't even have a public works, I mean, as far as recreation department to do some camps and things. So yes, they did cut theirs. However, new administration, different things are going to be going forward in the future as well. But as far as Iowa, when we look at our two sites, the high school and we have the elementary school, if you look at the numbers and statistics, which I brought last year, same thing. I didn't bring it this year because I'm not going through all that again. If you look at the numbers of the elementary school and the high school, if we pay $3,000 and you look at those numbers, that's well over what it should be for a meal. If you look at the total amount of meals that we served last year and the $6,500, and you look at those number of meals served, that's less than $1 a meal. There's no reason why we should have in our budget to pull from somewhere. I'm not telling you all where to pull. However, I do know that we have new town cars. We have brand new things being purchased. Where they're being purchased from, I have no idea. That's not my budget to look at. But I know what's being seen. And me, not only just as far as a citizen, I'm gonna speak on behalf of being a citizen. There's no reason why we can't spend $6,500 out of a budget a yearly budget. We shouldn't be able to pull it from that. We never had any issues before with any other administration on a yearly basis. And I don't feel like we should be really having that now. If it wasn't budgeted last year, shame on us. It should have been budgeted. I mean, I don't know. That's just where I am with that. Every year we shouldn't have to come up here. I shouldn't have to call these people from their jobs because guess what? This is overtime for them. You know, they don't get paid to come to a council meeting and just keep on going through the same thing over and over and over. I have my cafeteria ladies that's working extra that they've been hired. They're here. They got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, 3 in the morning to be at work at 4.
Okay.
So I would appreciate y'all consider passing it. And I mean, like I spoke with each one of you all, that's your decision. I respect your decision, but guess what? If anybody asks me the truth, I'm gonna tell them the truth. So that's it. I'm sorry. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Eric. Last year, there was a 32.6% drop in the amount of meals that were served in 2024. The one thing that I think is very telling at this point is that the conversation doesn't find its way into the administration until we get into a council meeting. I think that's highly unproductive of us trying to get a budget pulled together that is balanced. Other administrations, I'm here to do one thing. And when it comes to a budget every year, I'm required by law to give a balanced budget. What is done after that is done. Nobody's sitting here trying to make this personal. And say what you wish about me. It's about the dollars. That's all it is. As far as the new vehicles that you alluded to, I will be very, very clear. We have saved money by going through a lease program. This is how we've been able to right the ship that has been going in the wrong direction for several years. A lot of the sacrifices that the town has gone through since I've been in office was needed. It's still needed for at least another year. We cannot continue to spend more money than we have. If the lease program didn't work, we wouldn't be the only municipality doing this to save money.
Right. Like
I
I said,
think
don't know where
it's,
you pulled it
Mr.
from.
Eric, if you're gonna talk, you have to come to the microphone.
That's no problem. Like I said, I don't know where that money came from. That's not my budget to decide. The only thing that I'm saying, and as far
I
as
agree.
if I'm saying anything about you, hey, I'm just gonna tell it like I see.
Yep.
No kind of defamation of character at all, because I don't do that. Okay? But what I'm saying is, as far as everything that's being bought, everything that's being purchased, and we're looking at $6,500. Yeah, there's an inflation, deflation every now and then. There's a little fluctuation as far as number. We're dealing with the government, same thing. However, I'm still asking you all to consider making this happen. This is for our community, this is for our children. As far as kids walking across the track and trying to get back and all that, guess what? Not no one up here crashes reports when we have somebody get hit by a vehicle. Okay? When we have small children walking back and forth, nobody do that crash report. No one does CPR and have to figure out how to revive somebody once they get hit. These are the things I'm speaking of. Okay? So it's more to it than just saying, oh, they could walk here, they could walk there. But like I said, it's y'all's decision. I respect that. But if someone asks, I'm not going to cover it up and I'm not going to say anything but what I see. But I respect y'all considering that.
I think that's disingenuous there, Mr. Eric. It's not we're trying to
problem.
cover anything up. We're not.
No, I said I'm not.
But
not you.
that's what you're alluding
Like
to.
I
is
said,
that
I
we're
appreciate you.
covering up. And I think that's, again, disingenuous.
That's no problem.
We are trying to get to the point where we're looking at our budget. That's all we're doing. We haven't even got to that point yet. That's the strange thing. This is an introduction to the budget. We haven't even got to the budget. This is why we introduce it, is so people can look at it and see. Last year, when we did the feeding program, it was not done in the month of May. But we did sign it. We did get it to them. We did let them know. But all it takes is a conversation, folks. Same thing with the council. All it takes is a conversation. But if you're going to wait until we get here to have a conversation, this looks weird, especially for folks that are watching at home.
Mayor,
Just a conversation.
let's put this on the books.
Before we get too far gone, we need to get on with the rest of this.
Okay, can I mention this as
How
well?
about you and I have a conversation afterwards?
That's
Can
no
we do
problem, but this was not brought up tonight. It was brought up in February when Miss Felicia came and gave it to City Hall.
Let me just say that with inflation that you talked about and that it's hitting everybody hard, I feel like if it's hitting everybody hard, what about children and their home life with finances? I feel like all the more reason to feed them at the two sites. That's my input.
And I appreciate that,
And
and
I think we need to work
I'm
on
okay
it.
with that, as long as we make sure that our budget is balanced. That's all we have to do. But my goodness, a conversation ahead of time could have avoided this nonsense that we have here this evening. Okay? That's all I'm asking. All right,
I need a motion to adopt the amended agenda.
motion to adopt the agenda.
Amended,
No.
as amended.
Amended.
We did a motion to amend, but we
Right.
didn't adopt the amended agenda.
We need a motion to adopt the amended.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So with new business, the first thing we have here is a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-01, an ordinance to amend Article 5, Section 2, 122 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Iowa, Louisiana, to authorize the use of the Louisiana Department of Revenue Office of Debt Recovery for the collection of delinquent debt, as authorized by Louisiana Revised Statute 47299.1 ET-SCQ, and to provide for related matters.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that carries. Any opposed? All right. Number 3, 3, 4, and 5 is to deal with very specifically, they're all related. And we're going to start with
Number 2,
Did I miss
number 2, yeah.
Number 2.
It's at
Motion.
the end. That's
I
why.
got you. Motion and adoption of the millage rates resolution 2025-05, and I will read that as I'm required to. Resolution 2025-05, be it resolved that the following millages are hereby levied on the 2025 tax roll on the property subject to taxation by town of Iowa. Millage, general alimony, 5.590 mills. Be it further resolved that the proper administrative officials of the parish of Calcasieu, state of Louisiana, be and they are hereby empowered, authorized, and directed to spread said taxes as here and above set forth upon the assessment roll of said parish for the year 2025, and to make the collection of the taxes imposed for and on behalf of the taxing authority, according to law, and that the taxes herein levied shall become a permanent lien and privilege on all property subject to taxation as herein set forth, and collection thereof shall be enforceable in the manner provided by law. The foregoing resolution was read in full.
Make a motion to adopt the millage rate resolution 2025-05.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. So number 3, 4, and 5, again, are all related. We're going to start with motion number 3 to approve ordering appraisal of property located at 613 Railroad Avenue for the development of North Bowers Avenue, and to enter into a purchase agreement for less than or lower than the appraised value of parcel, and authorize Mayor Watkins to execute all of the documents in relation to purchase of 613 Railroad Avenue. So just to be very clear on this, that particular piece of property is what we would need to have in possession to go with the right-of-way that the school board is giving the town in order for us to create what we are deeming the North Bowers emergency or evacuation route from Railroad to Miller.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. Number 4, motion to approve resolution 2025-06, a resolution requesting assistance in making application to the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury Road and Drainage Trust Fund for participation in the cost of North Bowers Avenue Development Phase 1 project for Town of Iowa, Louisiana.
I'll make that motion to approve resolution 2025-06.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any questions? Number 5 is a motion to appoint Domain Zabo and Associates for engineering services for North Bowers Avenue Development Phase 1 project with reference to as needed contract dated August 29th, 2023. And I believe this is a contract that we've done with them in the past. Is that correct?
It's-
just a
yes.
copy.
Mhm.
So we just need to make a motion on that
To appoint them.
to appoint them.
Make a motion to appoint Domain Sesbo and Associates for engineering services for North Bowers Avenue Development Phase 1 project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. Number 6 is a motion to approve resolution 2025-07, a resolution to declare property as surplus and assign to LPS Municipal Surplus Property Program for online sale. And some of you may notice that we have the 4x4 truck that was bought, I'm gonna say back in 2021, 22.
21, 22.
It is in that batch because we got a truck that uses less gas. And it's at a point where we're gonna get the most return on it. And we no longer need that type of vehicle.
Do we need to vote for each individual item or just the whole resolution?
Just the resolution.
Yeah, just the resolution.
To approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and it carries. Okay. So now we are at number 7. It's the introduction of ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance adopting an operating budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026. Again, this is just an introduction. And I will not be reading my budget message. I don't want to take a lot of time on that. There is a copy available if you'd like it. Miss Cindy has it. It is available on our website, and I believe you can pick up a hard copy in the front office as well. So I'm going to read my budget summary real quick that just kind of goes over some of those things. As your mayor, I'm required by the Louisiana state statute to annually create and present a balanced budget, a budget based on past performance and present expectations. Critical infrastructure. It is evident in the presented budget that expected revenues will be expended toward the needs of the town, improving or maintaining the town's infrastructure, providing public safety, and improving utility services for all residents. Some wish for me to ignore trends, expectations, and the future. I choose not to be irresponsible with taxpayer monies. The responsibility the people of the town of Iowa gave me, I take personally. Because I recognize the immense responsibility, I surround myself with competent individuals. Some have been in place for years, and some for a short time. This budget has been in the works for over 2.5 months. Many hours of research, many hours of discussion. Learning from the past, and not just our town, but other municipalities can help us avoid taking the wrong step financially. We have diligently reviewed all areas of spending while maintaining focus of doing more with less. Declining revenues combined with the rise in cost pushes us closer to the possibility of raising property taxes. Increasing property taxes should not be in our future. a balanced budget, one that sets the town on the path to success, should be. Town's savings. A lot of discussion happens outside of this building regarding the savings. Not once has anyone approached me regarding the savings for the general fund. Yet it's the topic of discussion among those that want more funds. Currently, the LAMP general fund savings has about $650,000. That's enough for 3 months of payroll. Unfortunately, monies used on recurring expenditures have not been returned to these savings. And no one should expect it to be returned because the use of those funds created an ongoing cost and raised the expense even higher. Using these funds to balance a budget is reckless and irresponsible. My focus has to be twofold in the environment that I inherited over 2 years ago. First, I have to take care of the immediate needs that have either been neglected or a possible oversight. Secondly, long-term stability for the town. Currently, my administration has made a substantial sacrifice, nearly $290,000 from last year to this year, in an effort to keep the budget balanced. I have cut to the bone, as is evident by the number of hats that each of our employees wear in the office and maintenance crews. Through my leadership, we have been able to hire those that are competent or who are willing to learn. And we have not pacified those that create division or affect the culture. Those that are here under my administration are underpaid in my estimation. However, I can't, nor will I, sacrifice the future of this town to give substantial raises that should have kept pace with inflation. Real leadership involves making tough choices. Managing sacrifices for a better future is doable. Secondly, the one item I have not been able to give as much attention as I would have liked is to economic development. Economic development is a cure for our slumping revenues. Increased revenues allow for so many things we as a town expect. Increased revenue is what prevents the current issues with our budget. As many whisper or heap ridicule on the increased salaries associated with the administration last year, it took nearly a year for us to find the right person to bring in to fill the position as my administrative assistant. This is much needed to help me to facilitate increasing the revenues for the town, which in turn will lessen the strain on the town's budget. It is more than likely that this position will become a part-time position over the next couple of years. Even though my position is part-time, my work ethic has been full-time, as the most important matter for the town of Highway ultimately is its success. I will continue to operate with what we need in the hope that in the future the town can have what they want. And that's my budget summary. We do have copies of the budget and operating budget and revenues and expenditures. If anybody needs a copy of that or doesn't have a copy yet, Cindy, you have copies? Okay. Mm-hmm. Anybody need? Any questions as we move forward? All right. We're going to move to number 8, a motion to approve resolution 2025-08, a resolution for reallocation of percentages for the town of Highway sales tax.
I'll make that motion for the approval of the resolution 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah. All right. Number 9, we have a motion to approve hiring McElroy, Quirk, and Birch to audit the financial activities of the town of Highway for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025, and perform agreed upon procedures report.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, number 10, introduction of ordinance number 2025-02, an ordinance establishing for the adjustment of water and sewer bills due to municipal error, natural disaster, or pre-approved exceptional water usage, and otherwise provide with respect thereunto. Any questions on that? I'm going to just kind of give you a heads up as to what we did last year. We did an emergency declaration, which allowed us to have you guys drip your water, and we wouldn't be charging the sewer rates that are associated with it. We were trying to do that to make sure that we protected the water plant. So that's one of those things, a municipal error. If we have something that happens to pop up in error with the report on the billing, that we can correct it. So that's just kind of basically what that's alluding to there. Any questions or concerns? All right.
Just an introduction.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just introduction. All right. Number 11, announcement by Chief Vincent of the Iowa Police Memorial. And while he's on the way, he did leave us a copy of his budget proposal for the police department. Chief.
Just want, first of all, went to a funeral today for Lieutenant Alan Uchi Prater. Doing a line of duty last week for Rain Police. Just keep them in your prayers. That's the second officer killed in a line of duty in Rain within a year. So y'all keep that agency in prayer. It's a dangerous job. We will be having our police memorial service to be held Thursday, May 15th at the Iowa Community Center at 5. Our guest speaker will be Calhoun District Attorney Stephen Dwight. I want to extend the mayor and all of you an invitation this Friday at 5.
This Thursday,
I'm sorry.
but it's gonna be in here.
We moved it to the community center because it gets too hot outside. So I would love for all of you to come. Pay tribute to every officer that
The reception is gonna be here.
it's gonna all be.
It's gonna all be-
We moved everything over there.
Is it at 5?
Yes. And I have one last request. Next month, I am respectfully requesting the mayor and the council to allow me to speak in reference. I gave you my budget as the law says I can do and should do. And I would want to have an opportunity to be transparent to all of you and transparent to the public on why I'm proposing what I'm proposing. And I want ample opportunity to do research because pie charts and graphs are debatable. They're always debatable. And they're always debatable because when you construct them, you're using information to validate your point. But if someone has a different opinion, they're going to do research information that's favorable for them. So all of these issues that when we get information and we do research are debatable. That's the bottom line. And I feel when someone prepares it, as if when I prepare mine, I'm biased. It's going to be what I want. And anyone else that prepares documents that are debatable is going to be biased in favor of them. I learned that in school. So respectfully, I am going to expect to be on the agenda to address the police department budget and make some recommendations for promotions because I'm reorganizing my command staff. And that's all I have, and I look forward to seeing y'all at the police memorial. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. Any other questions or?
Can you announce about the financial?
If, we do have a copy of the financials available. If you would like a copy of those to review, if you have any questions, just let us know. All right. Worse, any other questions?
Did you repeat? No, just-
We have a motion to adjourn.
If we introduce the ordinance, we're okay.
Second.
I think so. What do you-
All in
I
favor?
think so.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and we are adjourned. Thank you for coming out.